what is the Facebook Ads Manager and what is a Facebook Pixel, and how do you utilize these basic tools to begin an ads campaign?
I'm solid at digital marketing, but I also kind of hate marketing terms because to me they're kind of very corporate and dehumanizing. But like it is multi-touch marketing too. I mean, it is somebody seeing your video, they're commenting on it, and then you go back again. Like there is a reason that there is a reason that marketing has been made mathematical in the manifestation of an algorithm, and it's because there is a calculus to how and when you acquire a client, a consumer, a fan, whatever you want to call it. And people usually, for the most part, unless it's just kind of, I don't know, daily bullshit items, that they impulsively buy. But for something like music, it's they are going to have to kind of trust you in a sense and kind of want to be your friend. And so, yeah, I don't know.
In your opinion, do you think that we're trending towards this route where more people are going to have to take up marketing skills? How do you feel about that for the average musician? Do you recommend everybody go out and start learning about this? Or
big time. And here's why though. So okay, I just said all of the right things, and they were all true, and I mean all of them on a very human level, human music podcast level.
Hey.
Boom. Simultaneously, there is another side to this. And the other side to this is kind of some cold calculation and rationality. And the cold calculation and rationality I have is that I really enjoy authentically connecting with human beings, and I really don't enjoy like I'm not the guy that's going to be out at a show 7 nights a week. That's not how I enjoy living my life. And like to people that do, that's great. I'm not a clique person. To people that are able to form cliques or form community out of cliques or whatever, that's great. I'm not a status guy in terms of like, I genuinely just like gaining any ounce of like humility and being able to recognize like, look, like, I'm a bald white dude, in his early 30s, that's making music. Like I'm not going to get on like Hot 97 LA or something like that. I mean, maybe I will. Maybe I'll have to badass track it. I'm not saying it won't happen, but like that shouldn't be my goal, right?
Yeah.
Just like getting there on that, I have to understand like who I am, and so like I really like being able to possess control over ultimately like what it is I'm doing and my own destiny, and like my failure or success will not be because of my lack of connections with other people. It won't be because I hung out at the right shows enough times and made the right friends in the right places enough times. There is something very liberating about the ads programs and processes that are in place. There's something very constraining about it too, because it is a skill set and it's an entire set of terminology and it's an entire language that you have to learn at least a basic amount about to be able to do it. But there's something very liberating about it too, that like at the end of the day, all bullshit aside, who my friends are kind of don't ultimately matter. Whether or not I went to 7 shows a week for 4 years and then somebody gave me an opportunity at this place or something like that, that ultimately doesn't matter. Do I have a budget? Do I have content? And can I find fans? That's it. That's what makes, and I don't have a career in music yet. I make something, I have an ROI now. I'm not in the profit margin yet, but like I have an ROI and it progresses and it gets bigger and better. But like at the end of the day, what I do know is that a music career is people that make music and fans that buy it. So my job is actually just to find those people. It's not to impress the gatekeepers.
Did you do any marketing before you got into that?
What's that?
Did you do any marketing prior, or this whole business you built stemmed from the whole music side of things?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's been really weird. It's been really weird. I I'm an intellectual nerd. I am a social science intellectual nerd. I went to college and got a couple of degrees in sociology and political science. I love history. I love reading. I love talking about history. That's my forte. I reflexively don't like computers or working on computers. It took me a long time to get there. It was by the thing I said earlier about being just alienated enough to like constantly grow. And that's what music does for me, because doing music has been very uncomfortable for me until recently, where I had the confidence and I had the sound and the records, and just like now I just love it. It's just a joy. But I ultimately I had this realization that like nobody was going to put me on, and I didn't really want to have to create inauthentic relationships to try to get to that place anyway. Actually, it started with a little bit of resentment, man. Like I never sold less than 50 tickets to a show. Never, not once. From the jump, I was always putting at least 50 people in a building, and multiple times on like a Wednesday night at like a local smaller place in Seattle, I would push 100 tickets, and I still wasn't getting the calls for like the shows and the bigger shows that I wanted, and I still wasn't getting like credit from like the community or whatever. And it started as a petty resentment that ultimately morphed into Facebook ended up calling me one day and being like, "Hey, we're rolling out a new ads program. You have an ads manager now. Like, we think your content could blah, 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 blah. Have you ever tried this?" And I was like, "You're trying to sell me some shit. You know what I mean? You want my money." And they were like, "Yeah, but like if you do well, then you're going to keep spending money with us." And I was like, "Okay, shit." So it started with just that, and just opening ads manager and just pressing buttons and seeing what worked and what didn't. Then one of the people that I went on tour with, essentially built his entire independent career, that is a successful independent career, off of a mastery of Facebook ads. And he taught me how to really set up an ad. And we didn't get into all the different kinds of campaigns. It didn't get that complex, but he showed me how to get a video views ad that was engaging and building a fan base of people that will genuinely like the content. And, once that happened, the floodgates kind of opened. I started playing around with the different kinds of ads. Okay, a traffic ad, an event response ad. Kept on getting better and better results. And then I have a buddy that's had a marketing business that he's kept intentionally small and very controlled for like the last 4 years. Randomly went and ate lunch with him, and he was like, "You do Facebook ads? Shit, I'll pay you." And then we got more clients, and then as he got more clients and I started doing more work for them, then I was kind of on the job training while getting paid, but doing a good job and working hard. And then I learned how to use Google and do everything else too. So that's really been within the last year.
That's awesome, man. That's incredible.
But it's again, like it's the independence and the power potential that it has if you're an artist.
Right.
And yeah, go ahead.
Well, there's a lot of people that are just like working jobs that, aren't as suitable, or, right now during COVID have no jobs. And it's like, this is the prime time right now. 'Cause like you said, in a year, shit changed up that much for you. And for a lot of these people, I mean, shit, working for somebody doing ads, and you do that for a year, 2, 3, 5, however long you've got to do your thing. Now you come out of this, you have this skill that you could start a side business with and do it here and there as you please. You can promote your music on this whole different level. And so it's like, that's a way to be like planning for your future while not directly doing music. So I think like a lot of people aren't even aware of what's really possible. And what you said is just a pure testament to that. Within a year, you're now promoting your own music and you have this really solid fan base locked in. Plus, you can do your own side business work. So takes thinking on that level if you want it bad enough.
Go ahead. Yeah. Please.
I was just gonna say one of the things
your ads are killing it, by the way. Is this like free space? Can I ask you a question real quick?
This year, episode, whatever you want.
What are you getting? What is your best ROI coming from?
Return on investment for anybody that might not know that acronym.
So I bypassed the direct to Spotify ads, which I know are cheaper and get more traffic. And I set up a ClickFunnels system, and I have a tracking code applied to my an Apple Music button, a YouTube button, and a Spotify button. And then I'm running lead ads. I'm running conversion ads, which are expensive, but I'm running conversion ads on Facebook, and I own all of my data from it.
Yeah.
And like my best performing right now is getting like 20 cents per click, or 20 cents per lead, not per click, per lead though. So like they hit the funnel, and then they waited for the page to open up, and then they actually clicked the Spotify button on the landing page, which is a pretty nice chunk of data there. Like that's a lot of action somebody has to take. But yeah, so I was just wondering in your experience, because you're killing it. Yeah.
I'm just fucking trying and iterating as I'm sure you were. When they click that Spotify button, where do they land? Just on a specific song or on your profile?
Yeah.
Specific song. Yeah. I would say that honestly the cheapest is Spotify native. It's like roughly like 10 cents a land. But as Facebook's algorithm has gotten smarter, landing people on a similar like custom conversion, like I only pay per click, which ends up being more expensive, right? But I know that they clicked on it, and landing them on the playlist, in which I know from Spotify's data, the average streams is about eight streams.
So the playlist ad.
What's that?
So the playlist ad is because I've heard the playlist ad gives really good ROI.
It does. And the thing that I did not think about at the start that is just fucking killing it is that now there's 500 people on that playlist that love that playlist, and they go back. I don't have to pay for them to listen through all of my music again.
Right.
All of my music is in that playlist.
Right.
It's like a fucking Trojan horse. And because I really truly believe like all of my favorite music of all time that has influenced my musical stylings and everything, it's like just the best of the best of the best is in this playlist. People are going to listen to it and be like, fuck, this is sick. Like, even if they like think my music is okay, they're gonna be like, this is a sick playlist. And then like, I'm just going to get residual streams from it. But that honestly, so the cost per click is the same. Like I'm hovering around 20 cents per click on that. But
I feel better now. I feel better.
Yeah, but because it lands on something where from data I received from Spotify, I can assume that it's, probably between 4 and 8 streams from that one click. Now I'm at like, what, 2.5 cents if they streamed 8 songs? 2.5 cents per conversion?
Right. And so are you using a landing page for that one, or is that just
it is. There was one of the, so obviously I didn't think of all this shit up on myself. I literally have been just like taking every $39 Spotify course I can find and then aggregating all of the best shit into my own secret sauce. But one of the ones was like from this dude that set up Hyped It or whatever, Hype Edit. I don't know how the fuck most people say it, but it's basically his system has a place where you can put in a Facebook pixel and it'll track the conversion and Facebook, you can make a custom conversion for it and Facebook will track and manage towards that conversion, right? So it's essentially the same thing, I believe, as your funnel, but there's only one button. It only takes people to Spotify. I don't have other buttons for other services. And I don't know if that's helping or hurting, but I think less options for the one thing that I'm really focusing on is probably good because I don't.
Yes. No, you're doing it the right way. I am on a long build. But I'm also literally, when we get done with this, going to implement. I have a really cool creative made up and all this shit, and I'm going to implement what you just recommended. Like I've been waiting on it. It's weird. See, this is the thing. I am so much better at telling other people what to do for marketing than I am for my own shit. I drag my feet all the time, and I have fear about it. It's very, very weird. And I've talked to other marketers that have a similar thing where it's harder to market for your own business than it is somebody else's. But I always lack faith.
You're playing with your own money.
yeah. And it's true. And like, that's a part of it too, is like, you want a solid ROI on what, if you're doing it, but there's a tension there. There's a tension there. I don't know. Maybe I'm constantly riddled with existential crisis.
I feel like that goes hand in hand with music too. Like, I feel some of my best shit that I've written over the years has been after like a period where I'm hating everything I write. Someone asks you, hey, you want to ghost produce this, or you want to like help me out with this? Bam, turns out being the best thing you've written since like all year, because you're not thinking about, like, you're not too preciously attached to like some idea of what you have in your head. You're actually genuinely going along with the creative process. Same with like the marketing. Like, you know so much about your own product, it's hard to get that distance.
I want to circle back around real quickly to some specifics on that funnel that you were talking about. So you're running traffic to your music from like Google searches?
No, I'm doing Instagram. I'm doing Instagram story ads.
Okay.
So it's through Facebook ads, but it's just IG story ads.
And then you run a custom pixel conversion on your ClickFunnels page?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And I just have it targeted as lead. I have each of the buttons on the funnel page with their own code on them. But I just target it as a lead, which means any of those buttons could get pressed because it's a little bit of a cheaper result. It almost predominantly ends up being Spotify regardless.
Yeah.
But I've seen, I mean, I was not doing very great. I was not doing very well on Apple Music, but my Apple Music, I mean, it's like, it's quadrupled in the last month since I started doing this.
Yeah. Okay. Sick.
And before that, I was just doing playlisting, which we can get into also if you guys want to talk about.
I want to save that for a minute because you guys have been given some like amazing ninja skills on Facebook to Spotify marketing, and obviously Instagram's under the Facebook umbrella. So let's right now assume that our main listener has never run a Facebook ad. And let's just start with some basics about what is the Facebook Ads Manager and what is a Facebook Pixel, and how do you utilize these basic tools to begin an ads campaign?
Yeah, sure. You want to start?
Yeah, I'll go for it. So basically, the Facebook Ads Manager is the platform in which you create and manage your ads that go to Facebook, and because Facebook owns Instagram as well. There's a couple other ones in there that there's like Instagram Messenger or Facebook Messenger, and then traffic, whatever something network. I forget what
the affiliate Facebook affiliate network.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole bunch of other sites that are
so it ends up in more places than just Facebook is what I'm getting at. And you basically create your campaigns on there. You can create different ads that target different sections of the population under the same campaign, and you can create different specific ads and copy within each of those different segments. So that's campaigns, ad sets, and ads if you're looking at the Ads Manager. So that's the high level overview of how it looks and what it does. But
in order to get one, you would need to have a Facebook business page set up.
I needed
your Ads Manager. Just making sure. I mean, some folks have been trying to run Facebook ads and need help figuring out how to better do it. And some people have never run one, and this is the first time they're thinking about it. So I just want to make sure that we just cover those basics. Like, hey, if you're completely lost and don't even know where to find this, make sure you have a business page for your artist profile and set up your Ads Manager from there, and then everything we're saying is going to start making more sense. You can actually look at it and listen along.
So here's what I would interject, like, to simplify. Step one, make good music that people want to listen to. Step two, honestly, like, I don't, what is our liberty to like actually name drop specific services that assist with this kind of stuff?
Much as you want, man. If you think they're worth using or worth avoiding, feel free to talk about them.
So yeah, there's a lot of, there's been this massive wave of Spotify tutorials that have come out in the last year. And it's because all of these digital marketing agencies were ultimately trying to figure out the best way to use ads to actually increase Spotify numbers. And it became pretty standard practice. They did all the testing. They're not selling you this out of nowhere. They did the testing and they figured out that running direct to Spotify ads through Instagram story ads, through a Facebook business manager is settled. It's the best way it's ultimately the best way to do it. It's the best practice, all this other stuff. If you start looking for these programs, you will start getting advertised from these programs in your Facebook newsfeed. And honestly, right now, most of them are like $35-$40. And we could walk you through exactly what means what and how to do it here. You could also Google it and then piece it all together simultaneously. I would just pay the $35 or $40 and just do the shit because they'll give you downloadables. They'll actually walk you through setting up an ad and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
The service I really, really like, and I'm shouting him out because the guy that started it has actually become the homie. We just message, we argue a lot, but he's a really good guy. And he's good dude. I want to shout out his service anytime he does it. It's called Indepreneur.
Shout out.
Yeah. And Circamoto is the guy that started it. He's the one that does the tutorials and the classes, and he can deconstruct everything that I learned. I signed up for it because he was doing a deal recently where like you could get his initial course for like $10 or something like that. Like right when like all the shutdown happened and the economy crashed, and I was just like, fuck it, I'll do it. And all the things that I learned trial by fire and just doing that were disparate and scattered and just all over the place. He has organized in an incredibly explanatory, processional, and methodical and relatable and understandable program where he's gonna teach you all this stuff. It's a great resource. The monthly membership is $37. Big time plug for that right now. I honestly can't recommend it enough. You're not locked into anything too. If you have it for a month and then want to cancel, that's totally fine. But he has a Spotify training. They also have just a general, what do you call it? They have a general, they have a couple of courses that are just like the thing I was talking about earlier about like what it ultimately, your job is to find fans and the psychology behind why somebody becomes a fan and why Facebook ads are so effective.
The buddy system and the fan finder method, I think, are those two initial courses they offer.
Yeah. And again, like you can buy them individually. I just do the monthly membership. I get paid by companies to run digital ads. I'm still a monthly member because I like it and I like to go back and I like to look at it. I get something out of it every time. So doing one of those, I think, is your best bet. And then if you still have questions in process, you got 4 people here in this thing right here. Just hit us up and we'll just. I mean, I'll get on the phone with anybody anytime. I'll get on a chat with anybody anytime and walk them through setting up an ad.
Yeah, like I knew next to nothing about Facebook advertising like in April. Actually, like that's when we had that call about the release that we did. That was the spark. Mm-hmm. That was the spark. I was like, okay, I know all the basics. I need to game this shit. I need all the answers for all the different things. And so I just started buying these courses. So, if anyone wants me to walk them through what my favorites were, what modules or like how, whatever, just hit me up on any social. Rip Kenny, I got you. I'll walk you through all of it. No knowledge to enough knowledge to be dangerous in 3 months. So
you become a master when you teach. Right? You become a master of something when you teach how to do that thing. So,
amen. And I just want to give a big shout out to that co-release they're talking about. Sam and I came out with a track called Do It For Me, and then we held a remix contest through Producer Dojo, and Rip Kenny had one of the absolute illest tracks that came out of that remix contest, along with
they were all
Low
so
Form
good, bro.
and No Breaks and Munchie. And those 4 tracks were just so incredible that they actually ended up being an official Producer Dojo release approved by Ill Gates himself. So if you haven't heard that shit, make sure to go listen to that shit because those songs are bananas.
Bingo.
Yeah, for real. Every single one.
Yeah, absolutely. It was good.
Hey,
I like it. What's up, humans? It's Luke, your friendly neighborhood trap Jesus. Thank you so much for watching our videos. We appreciate you. Remember to like and subscribe to our channels. And if you have any questions or topics that we need to cover on the show, put them in the comments. Appreciate you. Peace and peace among worlds.